When the sixth house lord gets into different nakshatras, not only does your day-to-day life, but also your work, your career, your finances, and also how you deal with competition, how you deal with your fellow people who work under you and below you will also get related to the specific nakshatra energies and the quality of the nakshatra. Hello, namaskar and adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We have been doing this particular series of different house lords in different nakshatras. We have already done all the 9 planetary energies in different nakshatras. What will be the results that you will accrue, what will be the manifestation when a specific planet gets into a certain nakshatra. This particular series that I am talking about, house lords in different nakshatras, we have done almost all the different house lords in different nakshatras bearing the Dusthana lords. So today we will be talking about the presence of the 6th house lord in different nakshatras, and because of virtue of 6th house lord being present or being placed in different nakshatras, how your day-to-day life, which the 6th house represents, thus your competition, those people you get connected on a day-to-day basis, your colleagues, your fellow colleagues, your career, your work, your service, which is also represented by the 6th house, and because the 6th house is also an Artha Bhava, so your material life, your financial success or your financial results also get related or get connected to the nakshatra energies, the quality of the nakshatra, the characteristic of the nakshatra, and the planet which rules the particular nakshatra and what quality the nakshatra represents, whether it's a sign which is, whether the nakshatra is placed in the air sign or water sign or earth sign or a fire sign. So let's carry on with this particular series of knowing how a certain house lord when placed in a different nakshatra will accrue different results for us. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra ruled by the sun, sun ruled nakshatras have the fire and the earth sign energy. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by sun, both these energies, the fire energies as well as the earth energies, rule the overall results that the 6th house lord getting into the sun ruled nakshatras represent. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Kritika, where 1 pada is in the Aries sign and 3 padas are in the Taurus sign. So here the person, when he is dealing with his day-to-day life, this is a person who is very passionate about results, about what kind of results he gets not only from a day-to-day basis but also from his work, from his career also. However, because this person is very passionate about his work, many a time this person may come across as more critical, even sarcastic in trying to get the results. So sometimes the person may be seen as little critiquing, which the word kritika also represents, but at the same time this person can also be very helpful because the person brings in a lot of enhanced stamina, a lot of energy to his or her work. And many times because of this strong energy and strong power, they also burn themselves up because 1 pada is in the Aries sign. However, because 3 padas are in the Taurus sign, so a lot of material results also come to these people because of how they work, what kind of dynamism they bring and what kind of discipline they bring on a day-to-day basis to their work. They work with a lot of conviction, they are quick to take action because of the Aries energies, but they are very steadfast in how they carry on with their work, how they try to achieve results, because at the end of the day 3 padas are also in the Taurus sign. Because it's a sun ruled nakshatra, so a lot of responsibility, accountability is also brought in when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Kritika. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttara Phalguni, so here 1 pada of the Uttara Phalguni nakshatra is in the Leo sign and 3 padas are in the Virgo sign. So the person's day-to-day activities, how the person will lead his or her life on a day-to-day basis, what kind of discipline the person brings in different manifestation or different areas of his life, especially related to career, will also be manifested by the Uttara Falguni energies. So one pada being in Leo, a lot of responsibility is brought in, but a lot of power and influence is also brought in how the person will work out on a day-to-day basis. What is the responsibility and accountability the person brings to the work or brings to their life. But 3 padas being in Virgo sign, so this is also a person who was very, very helpful, very caring, very sincere in his or her work. But because 1 pada is also in the Leo sign, so a lot of stubbornness also is brought in. However, being 1 pada being in Leo and being a sun ruled nakshatra, so the leadership qualities can also be seen with this person. The ambition which the sun ruled nakshatra brings in will also be seen. However, very, very large hearted people, very courageous, very enduring in how they try to get results on a day-to-day basis. So usually in their career, in their work, how they deal with their or with the people who work below them or even their team members will showcase the sign energies of Leo and the sign energies of Virgo also, with the caring, the sincerity of Uttara Falguni Nakshatra also will come. However, these people will have a very enduring relationship with people whoever they work with. So even in career, these people will try to work on a basis where their relationship with people whoever they are dealing with, whoever is working with them, endures and works over a period of time. Very, very courageous, but yet at the same time very, very friendly are these people. Very, very family conscientious, and they will want to be very united at the end of the day with the team members that they work with. Very, very loyal also with them, but at the same time the family is something which they will also not sacrifice at the altar of service or career. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttarashada, which is the sun ruled nakshatra, but 1 pada is in the Sagittarius sign and 3 padas are in the Capricorn sign. So here this person will bring in a lot of purpose in his or her life on a day-to-day basis. So on a day-to-day basis, the discipline that they bring in their life, the accountability that they bring in life, being a sun ruled nakshatra, will also be very humanitarian because of the Sagittarius energies. But a person who is very, very visionary, because Sagittarius people are also very liberal, they are also very outward looking, and so these are people who will take a little risk also in their careers because of the vision that they have. They can handle a lot of pressure with a lot of ease, with a lot of wittiness, with a lot of fun that the Sagittarius energies bring in, the risk taking energies. But at the same time, 3 padas being in Capricorn, these people will also bring in a lot of purposeful intent in how they work. The structure, the organized structure will also be there, but at the same time the risk-taking ability, the outward-looking energy of Sagittarius is also there. But Sagittarius and Capricorn energies combined, they are also very righteous, very principled in how they approach work. So people who can be very, very idealistic, and because of which sometimes they can also be extremely intelligent in how they approach work, keeping the idealism in focus. But at the same time, being people with Sagittarius energies, but the sun ruled nakshatra, these people can also be a little prone to buttering or maybe flattery also. So a person at the end of the day who can be righteous, have a lot of integrity, that can be very purposeful, can be very visionary, can be very humanitarian, and can also be able to get their results done at the end of the day using their fun, their wittiness, the risk-taking energy, at the same time the loyalty, the organized, structured approach of the Uttarashada nakshatra as well. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Mercury, the Mercury ruled nakshatras lie in the water signs. So here when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Mercury, because each of the 4 padas lie either in the Cancer sign or the Scorpio sign or the Pisces sign, so a lot of fluidity, a lot of imagination, a lot of nurturing will also be brought in, a lot of intuitive energy is also brought in. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Aslesha, where all the 4 padas are in the Cancer sign, so this is a person who on a day-to-day basis, because the 6th house is also the house of day-to-day work, day-to-day discipline, your work, your career, as well as the competition that you face on a day-to-day basis and the team that you work with, the people who work below you. So because it is the Aslesha nakshatra but 4 padas in the Cancer sign, so this is the person who is somebody who can be very nurturing, somebody who can be very caring, somebody who wants to take a lot of supportive energy, a lot of supportive tendency towards others. But because it is the Aslesha nakshatra, so a lot of craftiness, a lot of secretive energy also comes in. Yet these people are very, very responsible. They also sometimes become very possessive of their team members, possessive of what they value in life, what they are valuing in their career, what they are valuing in terms of power and authority that they have. But because it's a Mercury ruled nakshatra, so a lot of analytical ability also comes in, a lot of thinking, intellectual thinking also comes in, and how they do their work. But at the same time, there is a certain degree of restlessness which the Aslesha nakshatra also brings in. But at the same time, they are also able to keep the insecurity at side and we become very, very resourceful. If the work is not done according to how they want, they can also be very critiquing. But because of the Aslesha nakshatra energies, many times they are also misunderstood as being very devious, as being very, very controlling. However, if the person, the individual is able to manage on the one hand the supportive energies of Cancer sign and the analytical ability of the Mercury energies, because it's a Mercury ruled nakshatra, but at the same time also the delusion that the Aslesha nakshatra brings in while being very insightful, while being very, very intense, this can be one of the most successful nakshatras in which the 6th house lord lies, because these people can do the balance between being very secretive, being very crafty, but at the same time being very supportive, very nurturing of other people as well. If the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Jyeshtha, where all the 4 padas lie in the Scorpio sign, so yeah, because it is a Mercury ruled nakshatra, so the analytical ability, the intellectual capacity will come in, but at the same time the secretive energy, the secrecy of the Scorpio sign, but the transformative energies of the Scorpio sign also comes in. So usually these people, when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Jyeshtha, initial career will go through lots of ups and downs because of the 8th house energies, because of the Scorpio sign energies as well. But because they are very fluid, they are very imaginative, they are very nurturing, they are very intuitive, very creative. So these people over a period of time will be able to tide over the challenges, tide over the problems, and bring in a certain degree of trust which they are able to build with their team, which they are able to build with others who they work on a day-to-day basis. So a lot of internal conflict about themselves, about the team will also creep into their work from time to time, and there will also be a certain degree of rashness which may also come in because of it being the Jyeshtha of the Scorpio sign energies. But because it is still a Mercury ruled nakshatra, so a lot of rashness and impulsiveness that the nakshatra brings in will also be curtailed because of how these people are able to also use their ability to be able to attract loyalty from others and their own heroism that they are able to bring to work. So sometimes these people, because of being very, very intellectual, but also being somebody who can also bring in a lot of competency to their work, can showcase themselves as having a superiority complex over the others, though they are not those kind of people. So sometimes it takes them time to settle into a working relationship with people, where some degree of complaining may also come in the initial phases, but over a period of time, when they are able to set aside the internal conflict, be able to bring about the trust into their work, attract loyalty, then over a period of time good success also comes to them. But at least initial life, their career, their work, even their relationship go through ups and downs because of the Scorpio energies with the Jyeshtha nakshatra lies in. Now when the 6th house lord is in the nakshatra of Revati, this is a very strong placement, because while it is a Mercury ruled nakshatra, but this is also a insightful nakshatra because of all 4 padas being in the Pisces sign. The Pisces sign is a very giving sign, a very, very contributing sign, but it is also very optimistic, idealistic sign. So this person, when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Revati, while the analytical ability, the intellectual capability, the intellectual capacity of Mercury is also there, but because all 4 padas are in the Pisces sign, a certain degree of wisdom that the Jupiterian energies bring in is also there. So the idealism combined with the intellectual capability gives a person a very good balanced approach to be able to be very graceful, very caring, very responsible, but also at the same time very creative to how they are able to extract work from others, how they are able to deal with life on a day-to-day basis with the 6th house sign represent. But because the 6th house also represents competition, challenges, problems, upheaval, so many a times these people, because of being a little principled and idealistic, they have to overcome a lot of issues that the competition brings in from time to time. And but because they are very idealistic, very hopeful, so it takes time for them to be able to understand the deviousness of other people before they are able to overcome the challenges, be able to overcome those opposition also. But usually because of it being a Revati, because of it being the Revati Nakshatra, a lot of luck also sides with them, because your Jupiterian and the Pisces energies, the idealism also help them to be able to overcome those challenges. Somebody is very sincere, very soft spoken, but they can be also very religious about their work, about their career, and about their relationship with other people, how they are working with others. So over a period of time, somebody who can bring in a lot of orthodox energies also to their work, yet a lot of prosperity is given to them, prosperous results are given to them in their career, in their work, and the ability to be able to overcome challenges that the work will throw up at them, the service will throw up at them from time to time. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Venus, all the 3 nakshatras ruled by Venus, all the 4 padas lie in the fire signs. So whether it's the Bharani nakshatra or Purva Falguni nakshatra or the Purva Ashadha nakshatra, all the Venus ruled nakshatras lie in the Aries sign or in the Leo sign or in the Sagittarius sign. All the 4 padas of the nakshatras lie in the fire sign. So here a certain degree of fiery energy also is brought in. The passion, the confidence, the independent nature of the fire sign energies also brings in. But at the same time, these people can operate out of a lot of braveness that they bring in, but also the artistic touch that they are able to bring in because of it being the fire sign energies. So in terms of how they are able to overcome the challenges in terms of competition, especially when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Bharani, where all 4 padas are lying in the Aries sign, so they are able to overcome all challenges, all competition with a lot of energies themselves. They are able to overcome all issues, all problems, because of having the killer instinct of the Aries sign energies. So usually sometimes these people can be seen as very fierce, but extremely intelligent, and these people can also persevere over a period of time. But because it is the Bharani Nakshatra, so there is a lot of materialistic results also which come to them from time to time. But because they are very competent, they are very good at their work, and they also have the fiery resolve, sometimes they can be seen as people who are very pompous, even narcissistic, or a little vain in how they approach work. So if they are able to overcome the tendency of the competition or the people who they work with on a day-to-day basis as being seen as too indulgent or extravagant in their approach, then they are able to get good results over a period of time. However, because of the lustful energies of Bharani, these people are not usually satisfied with small success at work. Usually they are desirous of big success, big material success also, which comes in their work or which comes to their career. So usually these people may also be able to use not only their intelligence, but also their very sophisticated nature and sophistication of language which the Venus sign energy represents, to be able to overcome challenges and get people on their side. If it's the Purva Falguni Nakshatra in which the 6th house lord lies, so here all the 4 padas of the Falguni Nakshatra, Purva Falguni Nakshatra, lie in the sign of Leo. But because it is a Venus ruled nakshatra, so the Venus ruled nakshatra energies, but 4 padas lying in Leo sign, the sun energies, will give the combined results of the Purva Falguni Nakshatra. So when the 6th house lord gets into the Purva Falguni Nakshatra, at one time, the power and influence which the Leo sign energies represents, along with the good fortune which the Purva Falguni Nakshatra represents, come to the individual. And because it is the Venus ruled nakshatra, so usually these people can be very well groomed in how they approach work, how they are able to work with others, and usually they bring in a certain artistic touch to their work, even to their presentation. So usually when they work on their presentations, even if they are doing a PowerPoint presentation, they will bring in a very artistic approach, very colorful, very good looking. They will be very careful about the fonts also they use. So usually people who are very generous, very youthful in their energies, but very carefree also, they don't care a damn, because the Leo energies are coming in, so the power and influence is on their side. But they also like to be very independent in their approach, they will not try to get on into somebody's bad books, usually being very peaceful people, very accommodative people. And because of it being a Purva Falguni Nakshatra, many times good fortune favors them, luck favors them, and usually they are also seen as people who are very loyal and honest in their approach because of both the Leo sign energies in which the Nakshatra lies and the Purva Falguni Nakshatra energies also. So overall, a very well-groomed person, a very honest person, somebody who also attracts good fortune, a little carefree in their approach, but at the end of the day, very accommodative and very generous in the approach, and because of it, success comes to them, career success and the service-related success also comes to them. If the 6th house lord lies in the nakshatra Purvashada, where all 4 padas are in the Sagittarius sign. Now, because it is the Sagittarius sign, so Jupiter energies play their part, but it also being the Venus ruled nakshatra, so the Venus energies of materialism and also good fortune comes in, but with the compassionate energies of Sagittarius sign also. So, when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Purvashada, these people are very compassionate, very kind-hearted, but very striving, which the Sagittarius energies bring in because of it being the fiery sign. But because of it being the fiery sign energy, so sometimes they can bring in more strong authoritativeness also in their work. Very, very ambitious, very fearless also, with the Sagittarius sign brings in. So sometimes they can bring in the like a warlike, battle-like energies, and sometimes come across as very confrontational with others also. However, usually these people can remain undefeated and it's not easy to defeat them. So usually because of being people who can also be adept in how they approach work, sometimes also being a little pushy, sometimes being argumentative also, over a period of time they are able to combine the kind-heartedness, the compassionate energies, but also the pushy energies, the accommodative but authoritative energies to be able to get success, especially career success. When the 6th house lord gets into the moon ruled nakshatras, moon ruled nakshatras have each of the 4 padas lying in the earth signs, either in Taurus or Virgo or Capricorn. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Rohini, where all 4 padas lie in the Taurus sign, so here this is an extremely imaginative, extremely creative energies. Somebody who can be very charismatic in the approach, somebody who can also do a lot of elegant work, attractive work also. But at the same time, Rohini being a very prosperous or prosperity bringing nakshatra, a lot of materialist success also comes to them, especially being 4 padas lying in the Taurus sign. Taurus sign is also money sign. So usually if the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Rohini, both material success comes to them, even financial success comes to them. However, it takes time before they are able to get those results, and over a period of time they are able to build those success also, which the 6th house getting into the nakshatra connects it to service, connects it to their work also. So people who like the finer things in life, but also bring in the finer element to work also, how they work with people. So usually they want to do a lot of good work, a lot of brilliant work, very imaginative, very creative work. So that is also what they bring into their work. Very charming, very attractive demeanor in how they deal with people. But sometimes they can be seen as people who are very, very snoopy or even short-tempered when they want to get certain results. A reputation of being a little short-tempered or reputation of being more investigative or even snoopy, then over a period of time, very good, fantastic results, creative results, materialistic results will come to people who have the 6th house lord in the nakshatra of Rohini. When the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Hasta, though it's a earth-ruled, earth energies nakshatra, but it has all 4 padas in the Virgo sign. Virgo sign is a sign of service, is a sign of giving, is the sign of supporting. And because it is Hasta, which is the moon ruled nakshatra, so a lot of loyalty, kindness, independence is brought into their work on a day-to-day basis, how they deal with people, but with a lot of sincerity. So usually rather than being too pushy, these people can come across as being a little persuasive in the approach, but may come across as a little soft but firm in what they want to achieve. Usually people who can be healers also get connected to healing services or caring services, supportive services, or even healthcare services can be this energy. People who like routine on a day-to-day basis, but can also be flexible in how they get results. But if they are not able to get results as they want, they can come also across as a little critical and even impatient. but very cheerful in their approach on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes they can be very entertaining also in their career, and they can also take up entertainment or artistic related fields also because of having the creative energies, the moon energies. So over a period of time, because of being very independent but being a little firm, being more persuasive, and because of also bringing in the cheerful but the creative demeanor, they will be able to get a lot of goals successfully achieved because of bringing in the service orientation of the Virgo energies as well. Now, if the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Shravana, where all 4 padas lie in the Capricorn sign, so here the person will bring in the loyalty, the dedication, the structured approach of Capricorn, but at the same time the intelligent, the creative, the nutritious, the supportive energies of it being the moon rule nakshatra also. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Shravana, these are people who like to work on their communication skills. Very good listeners first before they talk, and because of they wanting to bring in a lot of competency to their work, they are not easily satisfied in what they are able to bring in as a result to their work. So usually they want to do a lot of brilliant work, so they bring in a lot of intellectual capability to their competency also. And because they like to learn, they also are people who will not also hesitate to even give unsolicited advice to others, wanting to use their learning, use their experiences to also share with others. So sometimes they can also come across as teachers, somebody who can also be good guides to others. Very courageous in the approach, but at the same time very charitable, very modest in how they are able to showcase themselves. Liberal at the same time, but also very honest in the approach. So usually the reputation of these people can be people who are very intelligent, very warm, very affectionate, but at the same time a very hard task master also, but very loyal, very dedicated, very structured in the approach when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Shravana. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Mars, Mars ruled nakshatras have 2 of their padas lying in the earth signs and 2 padas lying in the air sign. So they bring in the combined approach of the earth sign energies of being very detailed, humble, practical and steady, but at the same time the air sign energies of somebody who works on their relations, connections, very social, but also intellectually very smart as well. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Mrigashira, ruled by Mars, where 2 padas are in Taurus and 2 padas are in Gemini. So here are people who like to get a lot of materialistic results, but through their approach of being very competent in their work, very hardworking in their approach, but through also their communication ability, their ability to influence people. So they may many times bring in the ability to be very artistic to influence people, the sophistication of language to be able to impress people also. So very clever, but very curious, and usually these people are very liberal and want to go out and even like to learn from others. So usually these people are not hesitant to travel. In fact, they like to travel, and if they are put in some place for a long period of time, they can be very restless. So people who are very knowledge seeking, very striving, very exploring in the approach to be able to get good results. And because it is the Mrigashira nakshatra, sometimes they don't mind going far away from their place of birth, far away from their place of work also to be able to achieve results. So usually people who are very fearless, and they don't mind even confronting people if their success is hampered or they don't get the result that they want. So over a period of time, using the Taurus energies of steadfastness, but the hardworking and the dedicated and the creative energies of Gemini, using the enthusiastic and spontaneous energies, and with the sincerity, somebody who can get results is the placement of the 6th house lord when it gets into the nakshatra of Mrigashira. When the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Chitra, where 2 padas are in the Virgo sign and 2 padas are in the Libra sign. So here the combined energies of it being a Mars ruled nakshatra, 2 padas being in Virgo, so the intellectual capability of Mercury is coming in, and 2 padas being in Libra, so the relationship approach or the balance approach of Libra sign also comes in. So this is a person who is very balanced in their work, very dignified in their approach, and usually these people can be very good organizers, combining the Mars energies of being very go-getters, but also combining the very perfectionist energies of the Virgo sign. But at the same time, because it is also having 2 padas and Libra, so a lot of artistic denotation comes in, wanting to do a lot of beautiful work also comes in, wanting to also do a lot of creative work also comes in. So somebody who's very, very thoughtful can showcase a little bit of ego, or at least demonstrate that to people, or others may see them as a little egoistic, but also very dignified in their work, not somebody who will be very superficial, but having the Martian energies while having a service oriented energy. These people, because of their passion and their artistic nature, being in very good organizers, they are able to achieve their target, they are able to achieve not only success but even superlative success in their career, in their work as well. When the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Dhanishta, Dhanishta being a Mars ruled nakshatra, so the Martian energies, the go-getting energies is always there. But 2 padas lying in Capricorn and 2 padas lying in Aquarius. So the dedication, the commitment, the organized effort of Capricorn is there, but also the social, the liberal, the outwardly thinking, the social approach of Aquarius sign energies is also there. So a person who can be very, very confident and ambitious at the same time, and because of being a little adventurous, not ready to hesitate to be able to get the results as they want, so a lot of energy is also brought into their work, energy is also brought into their career, and because of their confidence, they are also able to overshadow even their competition with the 6th house sign, 6th house represent. So people who bring in a lot of balanced approach, and they have a very keen financial eye also. They are able to speak their mind, they are very, very outspoken also and practical at the same time. And because of it being the Dhanishta Nakshatra, they can also be seen as more aggressive than others. But because of being very confident, yet stable and very energetic, they are able to get results over a period of time using the combined energies of Capricorn sign, 2 padas lying there, and at the same time doing something for the masses. So if you really want to do something for the masses, leave a big legacy, or somebody is really achieved through their organized effort and their loyalty and the commitment, then you would want the 6th house lord to lie in the nakshatra of Dhanishta. Now when the 6th house lord lies in the nakshatras ruled by Jupiter, the Jupiter ruled nakshatras have a combined energy of the earth sign as well as have a combined energies of the air sign and the water sign, where 3 padas lie in the air sign and 1 pada lies in the water sign. So if the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Punarvasu, where 3 padas are in the Gemini sign and 1 pada is in the Cancer sign, so here they bring in the wisdom because of it being a Jupiter ruled nakshatra, the large heartedness, but at the same time the communication, the hard work, the competent energies of Gemini sign, but nutrition, supportive, empathetic nature, the giving nature of Cancer sign also. So people who can be very protective, very caring, very nurturing of others, they can themselves face a lot of difficulties yet be very, very wise and bring in the intellectual capacity to be able to overcome all sorts of challenges, all sorts of issues also. Extremely giving, extremely forgiving, yet being very, very charming. So usually this is also seen as a very renewal energy. So these people, you cannot put them down. You put them down, they can again come back and again be able to renew their energy, renew their passion, and to be able to get results. People, because of the Jupiter energies of being very wise, but at the same time bringing in the Cancer sign energies, but the Gemini sign energies of being somebody who brings in the communication and being straightforward. So a combination of somebody who is eager to serve, very, very protective of the people, very, very forgiving, but at the same time overcoming all sorts of challenges, issues, problems, and yet getting success in their career, in their work is the energy when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Punarvasu. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Vishakha, where while it is a Jupiter ruled nakshatra, so the wisdom of Jupiter is there, but 3 padas lie in the sign of Libra. So a lot of dedication, commitment to relationship, to connection, to acquaintances, but also balanced energy which the Libra sign energies represent. But 1 pada being in Scorpio, so some kind of transformation they have to bring in while being somebody who's connected strongly to relationship, strongly taking people along. And because it is the Vishakha ruled nakshatra, so the Scorpio sign energies of transformation, going through obstacles, challenges, problems because of others also comes in as a regular obstacle to their career, obstacle to their work, obstacle to their achievement. So usually these people may also come across as people who are very hardworking, very energetic, but because sometimes they are not able to get the support, the appreciation, the acknowledgement of not only people who are working with them, but also of the bosses. So there is a lot of suppressed anger. So they can be patient over a period of time, but one day this suppressed anger can also explode. However, a lot of vigor, lot of vitality that they bring in, lot of aggression that they are able to bring in, but combining the wisdom-oriented approach of Jupiter, the relationship-oriented approach of Libra, but at the same time also the magnetic approach of Scorpio, and through that they are able to get results and bring in a lot of intelligent capacity to be able to bring in the competency that they are able to showcase in their career, in their work. So if you have the 6th house lord in the nakshatra Vishakha, initial challenges, obstacles, problems will be overcome with over a period of time using the wisdom oriented energy and the relationship oriented energies and the magnetism of the Scorpio sign. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada, where while it is a Jupiter ruled nakshatra bringing in the wisdom, the large-heartedness, the liberal approach, but 3 padas being in Aquarius, so the liberal approach is also expanded while trying to be very social, wanting to do more for society, wanting to do something for the masses. And 1 pada lying in Pisces, so extremely giving, extremely optimistic also, but a little idealistic also. So this is a more idealism filled nakshatra. Somebody who can be seen as very mysterious also sometimes by other people, and they are very unflinching in their principles, unflinching in their values also. They also love the mysterious things, those things which are hidden, and they can also be very opinionated when they are talking about their work. Sometimes if they don't get the results as they want, they can also come across as very cynical, or they can seem to be more cynical, especially connected to their career, connected to work, while bringing in the coercive energies of the Purva Bhadra Nakshatra also. But because it is the Pisces sign, so they can be very principled, very peace loving also. They can take a blow or two to their work also, to personally also, yet at the same time being very logical. However, if they run into impractical people who they feel are not logical, then their suppressed anger can also come to the fore. They can also use their ability to be a little cunning, even violent or aggressive, to be able to get the results. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Saturn, Saturn ruled nakshatras lie in the water sign. So if the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra Pushya, where all 4 padas are in Cancer, because it is the Saturn ruled nakshatra, so the ability to be able to serve, organize, service oriented energies are combined with the caring, giving, nurturing energies of Cancer. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Pushya, this is a nakshatra of prosperity. A lot of auspicious results will also come to the person. However, this will come to them only when they are able to showcase their optimum service orientation while using their creative energies, their ability to be able to showcase their intelligence, which will also be represented with the creative energy, the nurturing and the empathetic energies of Cancer as well. So people who can be very independent, but they can at the same time be very attached to their team members, attached to the result also. So because of this, they also bring in a high degree of effort, but many times they are able to bring in the high effort but not able to get the results which their effort should be able to get them conducive to the work that they put in. So over a period of time, only because of their sheer sincerity and hard-working nature, but because it being a very auspicious nakshatra, they get very, very good results. So somebody who can be slow and steady wins the race over a period of time, bringing in the nurturing and caring energies, but bring in the auspicious results because of the positivity and the service orientation of Saturn, of it being a Saturn ruled nakshatra. Now if the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Anuradha, where all 4 padas lie in the Scorpio sign, so this is a person who will build their work, their ability to approach people based on logic, a lot of reasoning ability. But they are also people, because of being very service oriented, it being a Saturn ruled nakshatra, they will bring in a lot of harmony also, a lot of balance also. But at the same time, because 4 padas lie in the Scorpio sign, they can also be people who may also bring in a lot of sensual energies or the magnetic energies of Scorpio, but also wanting to be able to do more through their combination, through their contribution to others, and to be able to balance results. So a lot of times their desire to be able to manage others because of wanting to be more organized brings them a lot of variety to the kind of people they are able to attract to themselves. However, because of it, 4 padas lying in the Scorpio sign, so certain degree of transformation, change after overcoming obstacle also comes in. So somebody who can be melancholic at times also, but also being very clever, very fun loving also, and magnetic in how they are able to attract people's quality, and then be able to get results. Somebody is very warm, very kind, and loves variety in their work. So sometimes it's not easy for them to stick to a work or to stick to a schedule continuously over a period of time. So usually variety brings in a certain degree of changes in their careers from time to time, changes in the kind of people also whom they work with. So a overall logical reasoning ability, at the same time organized approach to work, and then through getting the results is the energy of 6th house lord being placed in the nakshatra of Anuradha. When the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapada, where all 4 padas lie in the Pisces sign, so here a lot of fighting qualities, aggressive qualities, strength building qualities also comes into the person. But at the same time the person can be very skillful but adaptable also, which the Uttara Bhadrapada energies represent. But because it is a Saturn ruled nakshatra, so these people want to serve, and because 4 padas lie in the Pisces sign, they can also come across as very sacrificing also. So because of combining the Saturn energies and the Pisces energies, so many times they have a delay in their rise. The rise is slow, the growth in their careers is also slow. These people have a very high degree of being able to endure challenges, issues, even pain. So sometimes they can be people who can sacrifice for their team, sacrifice for their family also, and then to be able to get results. Somebody who can bring in a lot of artistic demeanor also, somebody who can also bring in the wisdom, but service orientation and the idealistic nature of Pisces, and get strong results because of having very strong adaptable qualities, is when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra Uttara Bhadrapada. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Rahu, all the 3 nakshatras ruled by Rahu have each of the 4 padas in the air sign of either Gemini, Libra or Aquarius. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Ardra, where all 4 padas lie in the Gemini sign, so this is the person who is extremely hardworking, very competent, but at the same time very creative, somebody who can use the influencing skills, somebody who can use their ability to market themselves, market their work, market their ability to be able to get results, and through that be able to get results. But because it is the Rahu ruled nakshatra, so these people can be extremely innovative, extremely creative, extremely out of the box also in how they are able to combine their competency, their artistic demeanor and creativity and the intellectual capability of Rahu also. So people who can be very empathetic, but go through all the ups and downs which the Rahu ruled nakshatras can bring in. But because here you're combining 4 nakshatras being in Gemini, the Mercury capability and the Rahu capability, they can come across as too clever for people sometimes too calculative also. But sometimes because of being stubborn, they can also bring in a little destructive impulses to their work. People who may not like criticism, sometimes being hypersensitive also, and so sometimes will like to go their own way also because of wanting to get a certain degree of authority, and if that authority is not given to them, the flexibility is not given to them, they want to be independent to the extent of also being isolated. Usually people who have a very high degree of thinking capability, somebody who is very analytical, and so sometimes can be too critical of others. However, because these are Ardra ruled nakshatra, it is the Ardra nakshatra ruled by Rahu, so there is a person who over a period of time can also be a little changeable, a little secretive also, and because of their creative energies be able to get the results. So sometimes these people can also be very fearsome to others, even brash to others. If they are able to get the unflinching loyalty and commitment of others, so then they will also help others to be able to grow. But if they see ungratefulness from others, then they will not hesitate to be able to give it back. People who are very thinking, people who can also be very polite yet arrogant, also a mixture of these energies, sometimes stubborn, sometimes impulsive also, but yet at the same time being very empathetic, very independent, and bringing the intellectual capability and innovative energies to get success, to be able to get results, is the placement of the 6th house lord in the nakshatra of Ardra. When the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra Swati, while it is the Rahu ruled nakshatra, but 4 padas lie in Libra sign. So here the person wants to combine the relationship, the balancing, and the ability to be able to form connections with the Swati energies of being somebody who is very friendly, somebody who can also be very confident, but at the same time very flexible also in their work. Because it is a Rahu ruled nakshatra, sometimes these people can also be a little mysterious in how they are able to approach work. But because of being very curious, but being a little restless, they are able to get results with sheer strong resolve. Very artistic in their approach, in their demeanor, so they can also bring in the creativity with the artistic ability. People who like their freedom, yet they can be very soft in their approach to others. Sometimes they cannot be as aggressive as the work wants, so sometimes they can also come across as a little indecisive while having at the same time a strong resolve. So people who can be relationship oriented at one side, very creative, very artistic on the other side, and try to combine these results, and it being a very auspicious nakshatra over a period of time with the sheer resolve, with the sheer creativity, artistic ability, and then through that being able to get good results, balanced results, where they are able to give back to society also, but also extract their own pound of flesh, is the nakshatra of Swati, when 6th house lord gets placed into that. Now when the 6th house lord gets placed in the nakshatra Satabisha, while it is a Rahu ruled nakshatra, but all 4 padas lie in the Aquarius sign. So here a person who brings in the liberate tendencies, a societal approach to work, but at the same time a cunning, a clever Rahu ruled energies also comes in. So this is the person who thinks about society at large, but is somebody who will also be very visionary, a very creative visionary. So people who can be very inquisitive and try to get down to the bottom of the track, and then be able to extract through the ability to be very creative, through the analytical ability, and through that being able to come across with creative results, creative solution also. So sometimes because of it being a very strong Aquarius energies, Saturnian energies, a lot of hard work, and Rahu's very creative energies, innovative energies, very clever energies, so these people can work long hours to be able to get results. And so usually people who can be very stubborn in how they are able to achieve their results, people who can get a lot of setbacks initially, even in their relationship, and then over a period of time, using their deep knowledge and the ability to be having the strong inner potential, and then get results. Very talented people sometimes can also be a little lonesome also, but bring in a lot of temperament to their work, and over a period of time, because of being very adaptable, learning from their mistakes, having a very societal approach to masses and to their work, and giving back maximum to society, giving back maximum to masses, is the energy when the 6th house lord gets placed in the nakshatra Satabisha. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Ketu, all the 3 nakshatras ruled by Ketu have each of the 4 padas lying in the fire signs of either Aries, Leo or Sagittarius. So while it being a fire sign energy, but at the same time it is a Ketu ruled nakshatra, so this is a fiery energy of being very dynamic and giving to others, but for others more than themselves. So when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Ashwini, these people can be extremely good healers, problem solvers, especially because 4 padas lie in the Aries sign. Some people who can be very dynamic, want to jump in and to be able to solve problems for others, being very creative, but at the same time have a strong thirst for leadership. People who can have a fierce resolve, but at the same time can also bring in the playfulness. So people who can be very faithful in their approach to work, being themselves very loyal, they can also attract a lot of loyal partners. Very hardworking, very giving because of the Ketu rule energies. But because it is the 4 padas being Aries sign and being the Ashwini nakshatra, sometimes they can also come across as too foolhardy, jumping into projects and then losing their interest very easily. And sometimes they may also give up too easily. If the results don't go the way they want, they can also become a little brooding also, become a little sulking also. But at the same time, people who through the action orientedness, the hasty approach and the heroic approach can bring in the results which cater to everybody and cater to society. So usually because of being too pushy, they may also come across as a little inconsiderate. However, people who can be very hardworking, very diligent, while coming across a little short-tempered, but results will be given to people, results will be achieved for people, is the nakshatra of Ashwini. Even the 6th house lord gets connected to it and bringing in a lot of service orientation, a lot of problem solving, and getting into those careers also, or work also where solutions, problem solving, action oriented dynamic energies are needed. When the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Magha, where all 4 padas lie in the Leo sign, so this is a placement of strong power and influence, but because it is the Leo, but because it is a Ketu ruled nakshatra, those results are for others rather than for themselves. So these people have very strong beliefs in how they should approach work and how they should be able to get success or how they should be able to get results. So sometimes they can come across a little orthodox or even traditional in the approach. At the same time, they take a lot of pride in what they bring to their career, to their work, to their service also. And so because of also having strong orientation, they can also be seen as a little dominant also. And in fact, sometimes feel entitled because of 4 padas being in the Leo sign, entitled to leadership, entitled to responsibility. And because it is the Leo ruled nakshatra, so they want to give maximum, they want to do more for others. So usually they are respecting of other people's competency also. But at the same time, they can be very free spirited. They don't care too much for authority or leadership if they are not able to do more for others. So if they are able to contribute more, if they are able to do more, then because of their strong beliefs, sometimes even orthodox time-tested approach, they are able to get results. So over a period of time, through sheer ability to use power and influence and a very giving and a very traditional approach to work also, they are able to get results for others. So over a period of time, people who can be very giving, use the power and influence to leave a strongest legacy for the world, for the community, for the masses, is the energy of the 6th house lord when it gets into the nakshatra of Magha. Now when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Mula, while it is a Ketu ruled nakshatra, but all 4 padas lie in the Sagittarius sign. So somebody who can be very creative, somebody who can also be very risk taking, very fun loving, want to get to the roots of the challenges, roots of the problems, roots of the obstacles, and then be able to extract results, not so much for themselves but for others. So usually these people can be able to be very analytical, very curious, very inquisitive, and then can extract even deeply buried secrets, deeply buried solutions also that they are able to extract. People who can be very disciplined in their work, very devoted to their work, and so sometimes can also come across as a little bit as controlling. And if their work is going according to how they see that work should be approached and how the results should come to them, how the processes should be followed, then all is hunky-dory. But if not, these people can also sometimes explode, sometimes also explode in violent anger also. People who don't care so much for materialism, so usually they go through cycles where sometimes they get a lot of materialistic results, sometimes the results don't come to them, but they are able to achieve for others. People who can overcome a lot of challenges, problems, even pain, even calamities, yet remain very optimistic, always smiling, always be people who are fun loving, guiding others, and very free thinking people. Sometimes they can also get into debts or loans, and sometimes owe people money or also owe people their support which is given to these people from time to time. However, one of the most strongest nakshatras where you can leave a strong legacy behind, some people who are able to do the most creative, innovative work in those areas where others don't delve to go, is the energies when the 6th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Mula. So friends, now that we have talked about how the 6th house lord getting into different nakshatras ruled by different planets can bring in their own flavor, and at the same time the characteristic and the personality of the nakshatra also, please check which nakshatra your 6th house lord is getting, because that flavor will also come in, bringing in that attachment, that connection to your career, to your work, how you are able to overcome competition, how you are able to work in and grow in your service and your career and overcome challenges for the best materialistic results as well. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me with the links given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.